Airport to get your taxi, and that's the first time you get the Thailand smell as well, and it's like, yes, this is it, here I am.
How am I looking, guys? Pretty good? All natural.
Thank you so much for inviting me and give me the whole hour the first time now.
He's like, I want to be the only guest this time if I come on. What you don't know about Maggie, she's very bossy when she's not on the camera. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reeshard Travel Saturday Live Show. Excited to be with you again for another week. We have an exciting guest coming up shortly in CJ Paradise. So happy to have him on the channel. He's located in Hua Hin, Thailand, which is right across the water from Pattaya. So we're going to be talking to him very shortly. But I just want to let you know, guys, for those that may be new to the channel, my channel is focused on tips and tools for your next Thailand trip. That's coming soon, guys. 2020 is almost over with, and 2021 is coming soon. So I'm quite excited about that. There was a news story that just came out recently around the Pattaya hotels are budgeting for a March-April 2021 return of tourism. So they're setting their budgets for next year, their numbers they have to hit, and they're looking at March and April for that to start to pick up again. So for those of you that might be looking to kind of schedule a trip, I would say June is definitely a very safe time to go. Those of you that may be familiar with me know that I'm not really a big fan of Songkran in Thailand. So that usually happens around April. So yeah, I probably won't be going during that time, which will be good. So yeah, definitely stay tuned, guys. It looks like things are going to start picking up here in 2021. So I'm excited about that. Also, just so you know, for all of you that may have checked out my latest Reeshard Returns to Thailand video, it was part 10 titled Pattaya Passage. And I thank everyone that's viewed that because it's actually done quite well. That's the finale in the series. So it's kind of kicking off a new series and title to be determined. But we're going to have a whole new series coming out on that. And I'm excited. So I'm very excited to kind of show that to you guys coming soon. Let me go to the chat and see who we have in here today. So I just want to kind of get this scrolling banner going here for all of my moderators today. So got to tip the hat to the moderators. Today we have a bunch in there, so thank you for everyone that kind of joined for that. Let me go to the chat and see who we got up here. Go to the beginning. Oh, look at this, we got a celebrity in the house, guys. Johnny, there is something happening. Ready for another great stream? Thank you, Johnny. Always nice to have you present. He's got like the best thumbnail, man, just awesome. He's got some great logos on his channel as well, so I'm definitely appreciating that. Let's see, you got Mr. Mitch in the house. Hey, welcome back, Mr. Mitch. I know you've missed a couple weeks to some issues that were going on there that I'm aware of. So welcome back. Hope everything is well with you. Definitely appreciate that. And, oh, the legend, Daystay Fox. I know he likes it when I say the legend. That's why I say it. So Daystay Fox, welcome, man. Always nice to have you guys in here. We have the A team when it comes to moderators. And we have Robert Mac in Asia saying hello to Johnny. This is great. Johnny's saying hello to everyone. Oh, Mango Sticky Rice is joining us again too. Awesome. He's located in San Francisco. Always nice to have him join. And there he is, CJ Paradise, saying, looking forward to talking to everyone soon. So he'll be coming on shortly. And I'm looking forward to having a great conversation with him. So for those of you who might not be familiar with this channel, it is CJ Paradise. You can find that on YouTube. And Johnny says, that was brilliant. Hopefully you're referring to the intro or the part 10. Either one. Oh, we have another celebrity in the house here, Esquire in Asia. Reeshard coming at me like a bomb. Hey, good to have you in the chat, Esquire. So I saw recently, I think you're almost at 90,000 subs. So maybe the 20 people or 30 people that come to this live show will subscribe to your channel and put you up to 90,030. So congratulations on the channel's growth though, Esquire, because it looks like you're due to hit 100K very soon. So we'd definitely love to talk to you offline about some options I have for you kind of coming shortly with the next couple live streams. Zcon, hello. How you doing there? Nice to see you in the chat as well. Everyone's saying hello to Esquire. He had a funny video with him and Johnny recently that I was just laughing my ass off. That was well done, Esquire, with you kind of, you had sort of the look back, you're waking up the day after your night out. I thought that was awesome. So that was very good. Great. Let's see who else we got in here. Got some great people in here. Perfect. And let me just go back here to the banners. I got a couple of things I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So one of the interesting news stories I saw, I think I saw this on the Tiger, was that they're starting to move the power poles in Pattaya. So I don't know if you guys were aware of this. They had a big project earlier in the year around moving all the wires underground in Pattaya. And I kind of laughed about that initially because I thought, well, it's never going to get done. Well, I guess it got done. So especially in North Pattaya. So I guess what they're doing is they're removing the power poles and all the wires above ground because they've already moved them underground. So I was just thinking about what a nice city it would be if we kind of move some of those wires, just the jungle of wires that exist there in Pattaya. So I was happy to see that. That's actually going to be great. It's going to clean up that city a little bit. But, I was a little ambivalent when I first saw that story a couple months ago, because I thought there's no way they're going to do that. And then I thought about, like, if there's any kind of electrical issues, that's got to be very difficult to go underground to fix those issues now. Before it was just you put a ladder up, you fix some of the electrical issues, and everything's good. So I don't know how they're going to work it if things go kind of crazy with the underground wiring. But yeah, let's just see here. Johnny's saying, been down in Phuket. Oh, nice. So that's, everyone's telling me that's like a nice place to go now because there's no tourists. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I'd definitely be interested to see like what your thoughts are there, Johnny, with regards to Phuket, if you're enjoying yourself down there. I think that when Esquire went down there with Tita, he was saying that it was a little on the depressing side because there was not a lot open. So we'd love to kind of get your feedback on that. Esquire saying hello to Zcon. Oh, Carl's in the house here. Canada in the house. Nice to have you from Canada there, man. Oh, very nice. Greeny Travels. Damn, I missed the intro. That's awesome. So Greeny, how's it going on your condo search in Bangkok, man? I've been watching a couple of your videos. Very, very cool. I'm going to be watching that very closely and taking notes. And I think you and I sort of have similar interests with regards to condo hunting. I know that you had mentioned that you're going to be looking in Bangkok, Hua Hin, Pattaya, and Jomtien. So those are all areas that I'm considering moving to. Especially, I think the main focus for me is probably Jomtien first, and then I would think Hua Hin, Pattaya. Hua Hin is just going to be great because there's a lot of vloggers there. So it's like I have some friends. I feel like I'd kind of move into some friends. So definitely looking at maybe that area as well. Yeah, that's great. Everyone's saying hello to everyone. Keep that going, man. And Peter Hopkins in the house here. Hi, Zcon. Hope you're well. But looking forward to getting vaccinated so we can get back to normal in the UK. I know I feel like a lot of people, we're sort of saying, I don't want to take the vaccine, this kind of stuff. And I got to be careful what I talk about on YouTube. But it is interesting how people are kind of changing their thoughts now that we're getting closer to actually being released. They're like, I just want to get it so I can travel again. Because it's sounding like that's going to be kind of a requirement with the whole travel situation. And Greeny's saying that he's way behind on uploading, already in my new condo. Oh, so I wonder, can you give us a spoiler alert then? Can you tell us what city you chose? I would love to have that announced on this live show. So interesting. I'm thinking if I had to guess, I think you may have ended up in Jomtien. That's just my guess. The limited conversations you and I have had, I'm thinking you might have ended up in Jomtien, but maybe you ended up in Bangkok. Who knows? Would love to know. But and Esquire is saying, yes, Patong is a ghost town. Old Town is doing okay with local activity. And then, so that's a great point. So those of you that might have watched my video Phuket that I had, the Reeshard Returns to Thailand, I had a motorbike ride through Old Town. It's pretty cool. Not a lot of interest to me, a lot of shops. I'm not really a big shopper, but it's pretty cool. So Patong, yeah, is a ghost town. That's interesting. I saw some videos, Esquire, that showed like nobody there, and the bars are like roped off, taped off. So that's a little depressing, man. You just see here, Johnny's saying the wire's underground, Phuket and BKK now. Oh, I should know that. Look at Johnny. So, Johnny, you're trolling me today, man. It's so funny. So let me see here. So Jeff Carter, I guess, did his first live stream yesterday from Tenerife. Once he gets used to it, you'll be okay. To guest spot. Oh, that's nice. I think I might have reached out to Jeff Carter a while back, Day State, and he let me know like he doesn't really do live streams. So maybe that'll change now that he gets more familiar with it and that kind of stuff. And then Greeny Travel is saying, I will have some good tours in Jomtien, and that's really interesting. So I'd love to see those videos because when I had my condo in Jomtien for a year, I stayed at Vieux Ha, so Vieux 5, right off of Tepersit Road in Jomtien. It was a nice place. Had a private beach that you actually would use a key fob to key fob into. They had security there, making sure people, were on the up and up getting in there. And it was nice. I loved Jomtien because I could kind of get away from the nightlife in Pattaya, but I was still very close to it. So if I wanted to kind of go out and have fun, go to the Go-Go's, that kind of stuff, it was still, a 5 or 10 minute motorbike ride, but I could still kind of get away from it and walk on the beach and do that kind of stuff and still have somewhat of a healthy lifestyle. So I like Jomtien for sure. Awesome, great. Got some nice comments going on there. Great. So let me do this then. Let me go ahead and think about bringing in CJ Paradise. So for those of you that might not be familiar with CJ, so he's a local Thai vlogger living in Hua Hin. We're going to talk to him about a lot of things today. I got a lot of questions, but I will tell you guys just feel free to put your comments in the chat and we'll address those questions. And let me just go ahead and do this, set up things for CJ to come in, and let me welcome CJ into the Saturday Live.
Hello. Like to say hello to Hua Hin and happy birthday to the king, everybody.
That's very nice of you.
So,
that's great. Yeah, I saw a post of that recently as well. So I think it was December 5th, right? Was his birthday?
Yeah, actually, it's today here in Thailand.
Okay, perfect. Great. Well, CJ, welcome to the Saturday Live Show.
Thank you.
Awesome. So nice to have you. Let me set up some things so people know who we're talking to today. Here we go. Great. Perfect. So a lot of things I want to talk to you about because I think you have a very interesting story. So an American that's traveled around Asia and found his way into Thailand. So I'm curious about a number of things, and I'll definitely defer to the chat for any kind of questions that come in here. So feel free to put those in there. And I think what might be a good thing to start out today with is just kind of tell everyone kind of who you are and where you're living in Thailand.
Well, like you just said, I'm an American. I was born on the West Coast. Then I traveled all over the United States. When I was just out of high school, my parents said, you can go anywhere you want as long as it's inexpensive and this is how much you have and so forth and so on. So I chose Hawaii. That was my first actual trip away from home. And I guess you could say that gave me the bug because as you'll find out later, Richard's going to ask me questions about where I've been and what I've been doing and all that. But short story, I am in Thailand and I've been here for about 8 years.
Nice. And then, so what island were you on in Hawaii? Did you stay on the main island, Oahu?
I was on Oahu and I did it very frugally, I guess you could say. I stayed at the University of Hawaii. I had to do it that way so that I could stay for a long period of time. I took basketball, volleyball, and physical fitness from 8 a.m. to 12. And by about 12:30, 1 o'clock, I was on the beach.
Wow. That sounds like a wonderful lifestyle.
Had a blast. I was over there for about 2 months.
Nice. And then, so how would you kind of describe your channel to those that are not familiar with your channel, CJ?
Well, it's kind of my story is what I see through my eyes. I mean, I do it a little bit differently from other people, I think. Not that it's not a vlog, but, and I'm not knocking anybody that's doing it this way or that way or whatever, but a lot of people hold up the camera and talk a lot more on the camera. I just kind of say, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what we're doing today. And then I flip the camera around and I do a little bit of talking as I'm walking around. If you've seen any of my videos, I'm more into showing what's out there than kind of showing what's behind me, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it's a great perspective, right? Because a lot of vloggers will show the face. Some prefer to show what's outward. So I guess it's like a personal style, right? So
yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking it. I watch Johnny, I watch Tita and Esquire there. I've seen Greenie. So, you know, hey, everybody's got their own little style, what they do and stuff like that. So
nice. Just yeah, so interesting. So I know that now, did you go from Hawaii to Asia? Did you start traveling around in Asia and then found your way to Thailand? Is that how things worked for you?
Kind of, sort of. I went, after I was in the university there for a couple of months, I went back to the United States, went to school, and then moved to Hawaii. I actually moved there and stayed. I was there for about 8 years. And I think I told you this, that I would probably still be in Hawaii if it wasn't for September 11th. And if any of you don't know what that is, it's when the planes crashed into the World Trade Center. But because of that fact, I lost my job, which was a tourist kind of job, but I was basically running this company for a Japanese American person. And then about 6 months later, I decided to take off traveling. I went to Japan, was in Japan for about 8 years. And then I took a holiday and came to Thailand. And prior to that, I've been to Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia,
all around, right? That's great.
Indonesia, Laos, Cambodia. I mean, basically the whole Asian area. And then I came to Thailand and I'm all like, wow, it's like a second home. Well, like I was comparing it to the tropics from Hawaii to Thailand. So then about 2 years later, here I am.
Nice. So you came to Thailand for vacation, then came back and actually moved everything over, right?
Yeah, I was living in Japan and I came to holiday about 2 years prior to moving over here. Yeah. And then went back and kind of tidied things up in Japan and then boom, over here.
You know, it's so funny. Whenever I say vacation, I have to catch myself because I understand that I think vacation is something only Americans use. Have you found that? Like, I feel like holiday is used more around all the countries. Like, hey, I come here for holiday. It's so funny how like us Americans say vacation. I think people are like, well, what does that mean? So I do want to bust out Johnny though. See, Johnny's trying to troll us a little bit today. He's giving us a hard time. I saw this come up early. Is CJ's mic okay? I can't hear him right. See, Johnny, I got people on the ground, man. So I was checking while I saw that, and they were saying audio is good. So I'm on to you, Johnny.
Don't bust Johnny. I've commented to his channel, and he hasn't commented back yet. I'll bust myself.
Johnny, I'm on to you, man. I think you and Esquire are in cahoots today. You and Esquire are going to come in here and try to blow it up. But Esquire is being very nice. See, Johnny's coming in here. Maybe what you need, Johnny, is a little Q-tip. Clean out the ear, man.
I don't have a mic, Johnny. I'm sorry. I don't live stream that much. And Richard contacted me and he said, hey, you've got an awesome channel. I want you on my stream. And I said, fine. So I apologize. I don't have a mic.
Yeah. No, you're good, man. You sound good to me. Johnny's got a nice professional setup though with his. I think he's got a mic with the stand and everything. So that's pretty cool.
Nice backdrop and everything that he had made.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Thank you, Daystate Fox, for saying part 10 was brilliantly filmed. I appreciate that, man. So it's actually my best performing video right now. So I'm pretty excited about that. I've never received so many thumbs up, so I'm pretty happy with the performance of that video. Thanks for all of you that might have watched. But I'd love to know, what's that?
I like 8.
8? So 8 was, if I remember right, is 8 Phuket? Is that the Phuket one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm so many different parts, CJ. I forget which one is which. I know part 7 is the Chiang Rai, part 8 is Phuket, part 9 is Pattaya Perfect, and then this one. So yeah, so I'd love to know, like, so you've traveled around quite a bit. I know I want to talk about what you love so much about Thailand and why you chose Hua Hin, but I do want to kind of go back a little bit and see what are some of the things you liked about in some of the other areas you lived in Southeast Asia or in Asia, because you said you spent time in Japan, right?
Well, the only place I lived was in Japan.
Okay.
I've been to other countries. I was in the Philippines for, I think it was 20 or 25 days, whatever the longest visa you can get on a tourist. And I think it was like 20, 25 days. And I really enjoyed that. And I'm already living in Thailand at that time. And I was contemplating to see about getting a longer visa over in the Philippines and kind of explore a little bit more and see how it was, but I never made it back. So, but there I went to Manila, Cebu, and then just on a whim, I went over to an island off the coast there. What was it called? Bohol.
Boracay? Oh, Bohol.
Bohol.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. So I'd love to know, like, how did you find out about Hua Hin? Because that's sort of like a little niche spot that you got to have visited Thailand a couple times and know about, I feel like. How'd you find out about it, and what do you love so much about living there?
I knew about it even before I had come to Thailand, just because a friend that I knew in Hawaii is living here in Hua Hin and is married to a Thai lady. So at the time he was living in Bangkok, but they transgressed and whatever and came into Hua Hin. So now they live in Hua Hin up in the Black Mountain area. Okay. And he just kind of said, hey, you got to come to Thailand. You got to check it out. You got to do it. You got to do it. And I finally did it. And for the first week, I just wanted to be on my own. So I milled around Bangkok and jumped into Pattaya and stuff like that. And then I finally called him and he was all upset. He says, hey, you've been here for a week. Why didn't you call me? I'd show you around. So then I came down to Hua Hin for the next 7 days or so and really liked it because of the beach. It's not really populated. It wasn't really populated. It's getting populated now, but it was just more of a laid back, relaxed kind of environment, which I like. But there's still everything that you need. You know, you got Market Village, you've got the new Blueport Mall and little mom and pop shops and grocery stores here and there. So you have everything you need. And like you said, you can jump across the ocean there to the Pattaya and a couple hours up the coast and you're in Bangkok. So it's kind of centrally located as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a great area. Now, where are you from in America, CJ?
I'm just down from you.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So I kind of so I kind of equate. So you would know a place called Santa Cruz then, right?
Oh.
Yeah. So I would say Hua Hin for me is very similar to Santa Cruz, like in the 70s or 80s. That's my take, which is awesome. So for those of you that don't know, Santa Cruz is like a beach town here in the Bay Area. And it really had its heyday in the 1970s and 80s. Now it's kind of been built up. It's lost a lot of its interest, at least I would think. So Hua Hin looks like a lot of that to me. And then Jomtien as well. I feel like that's kind of like Santa Cruz in the 70s, 80s. Do you kind of feel that way too?
Yeah, Jomtien was, when I went down to Pattaya, I went over to Jomtien and I stayed there a lot longer. I was there for like 7 days, but the majority of the time I stayed in Jomtien. I didn't really go into the nightlife of Pattaya and stuff like that. I did it, you know, just to say that I did it, but I'm not a heavy drinker. I don't smoke, so you know, going into the bars is not a real big thing for me. But I do it when I have friends come over or friends from here. You know, they want to go out, whatever.
Yeah. So how did Jomtien equate to Hua Hin for you? Was it a close call, or did you settle on Hua Hin because you had kind of some friends there?
I only had one friend at the time, and no, I didn't really settle on Hua Hin because of that reason. I was in Bangkok, and a friend of a friend said, "Hey, why don't you come over to Hua Hin? I'll introduce you to some people, and we'll see how it goes, and maybe you can start working down here." So that's
everything kind of aligned for you.
But I mean, I could have, worked anywhere in Thailand if I wanted to. But I kind of my foot in the door when if I came to Hua Hin, so I thought it'd be a little bit easier.
Yeah, and just a comment from Day State Fox saying Jomtien is a fab. And I agree. Like, I like Jomtien for a number of reasons. I do want to spend some time in Hua Hin, especially near Johnny and Esquire in Asia. I'm going to be knocking on their door like 4 o'clock in the morning.
I'm not sure where Johnny lives. I'm not sure where Johnny lives, but Esquire lives down by the beach. So that's probably pretty close to where I am. I've seen the videos where he walks down to the beach.
Yeah, he says that he'll choose Hua Hin over Pattaya Jomtien any day. So, I mean, it's definitely on my list, man. It's nice to talk to people that are living in those areas. So it kind of opens up my eyes. Like, I got to check that out. And the videos that Esquire and Johnny put out in that area look amazing. And then you've done a great job of kind of profiling that too, CJ, with the night markets and the daytime activities. Like, it's a very interesting city. Very interesting. I do like that it's close to Bangkok. So I probably would be more interested in going to Bangkok if I lived in Hua Hin than Pattaya. It just seems like it's maybe more of a pain in the ass to get over to Pattaya from Hua Hin. You think?
What, an hour and a half, 2 hours on the boat?
But those boats only, do they go at all times? Like, if you go out and have a rager of a night, can you get back that night? Or do you have to spend the night somewhere in Pattaya?
You probably have to spend the night in Pattaya. I think there's only like 2 or 3 boats a day.
Yeah, interesting. Now, CJ, did you ever get back to America? Have you gone back to kind of visit, reconnect with family?
Yeah, I go back probably twice a year. In fact, I was going to go back before this situation started. So haven't been back for about 1.5 years now.
Yeah.
But, no, that was
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that was the plan, to get back just before this situation started, and then so I in the boat with everybody else trying to get back over here. I had gone.
Yeah, I think it's so funny. I kind of laughed there for a minute because I feel like all of us vloggers, we have all the different code words we use for that worldwide illness, right? So I call it the worldwide illness, the situation. We all have these different code words to try to avoid getting in trouble with YouTube. So I was kind of laughing that we have to use that,
It says that you're not, there's all kinds of stuff out there that says you're not supposed to use that word. So.
Yeah, I think I had a guest on a week or two ago. They actually used that word a couple times, and all that happened was I got a yellow $sign on my video. So it's like limited advertising available. So that kind of sucked, but what are you gonna do? Little Elephant saying he hasn't been to Hua Hin since 2006. So that's a long time ago.
It's a different city, my man, different city.
And then Esquire is saying he's in the Takiab area.
Takiab.
How do you say that?
Takiab.
Okay.
He's not putting the cow in there, but it's Takiab.
Okay.
All right. We'll have to hook up, you guys.
Yeah, you should. Those guys are great, man.
You know that beach that you work out all the time. I'm sure I know where it is, the section of it, but
yeah, great vlogger, man. And Tommy was just asking if you have own a motorbike in Hua Hin.
Yes, I do. I own a CBR 250, and once you subscribe to my channel, you can go watch the review.
That's great. That's a nice little, that's a nice little entry into your channel there. So I guess interesting question for you, us being Americans who drive on the right side of the road, was it difficult for you making that transition from the right to the left? Did it come naturally for you?
Here, yes. But in Japan, the first time I drove in Japan, I don't remember where we were going, but there was some Japanese and some foreigners, and they said, does anybody have a license? And I said, well, I have an international license, but I never driven over here before. And they tossed me the keys. And a foreigner said, don't worry about it, CJ. if you see the headlights coming at you, you're on the wrong side of that road. Well, I got in the car. I'm hugging the shoulder.
Yeah, overcompensating, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I spent some time in the Bahamas probably 10 years ago, and I rented a motorbike for the day, and I had a lot of difficulty because they're on the left, and it was tough for me to kind of understand how to make turns and that kind of stuff. But that's probably just my dyslexic brain having trouble with that. Bad Badger, who's becoming quite a celebrity down in the south of Thailand. So he's saying, "Good evening, folks. Hey, CJ, hope you're well." Have you met Bad Badger before, CJ?
No, I haven't. We've talked through my my channel a little bit, and the first time I actually saw him was just a couple of days ago with Chuck and Paige down in the Krabi area.
Yeah, I thought that was an awesome video. So there's a bunch of those floating around. I watched the one from Foreigner Joe's channel, and I was laughing so hard, CJ, because you had all these vloggers. I think you had Chocolate Man in Thailand, Bad Badger, Chuck from No Time to Be Sad, Foreigner Joe, and they're all trying to get their camera in a way to where they're not getting someone else's camera in the shot. And it was pretty funny.
I like doing the food thing.
Yeah.
You actually see all the cameras go like this.
Yeah, it's just so funny. I was having a good time with that. So Bad Badger is a part of that celebrity crew. So that was pretty cool. And then Foreigner Joe did a great interview of Bad Badger on that video. So hats off to you, Bad Badger. I see your subscribers are picking up as well. So that's awesome. And Mr. Mitch is agreeing with you, CJ. He's saying Hua Hin, talking to Esquire in Asia, saying that he would take Hua Hin any day. And it's interesting. So it definitely piques my interest now more, CJ, to kind of check that area out. It does seem like it has a little bit of a nightlife as well. It's got some great bars, right?
Yeah, it's got some bars. It's got the Bentabat, and then you've got the bars spread out within Hua Hin that are usually happening. So
yeah. And then Greeny Travels is saying that there's actually no ferries going on right now between Pattaya and
closed.
So how do you get over there? Do you just got to drive the long way? Is that a longer way to get around? Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Like 2.5, 3 hours to Bangkok, and then if you're lucky, you get someone that goes fast, and you can get to Pattaya in about 1.5 hours. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Just looking at some of the comments. So Day State saying Thailand is my favorite, for Boracay, and the Philippines was a close second. Yeah, I think Boracay was closed down for a little while. I don't know if they've reopened yet. I know that they closed down because it was getting a little trashy.
They opened it already.
They opened it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's Philippines is great. Definitely less cost associated there, but I kind of prefer Thailand. I guess for no specific reason, just that similar to you, CJ, it kind of just felt like home to me. Just things felt comfortable, that kind of stuff. Now, have you taught yourself any of the Thai language, CJ, since being there?
I can say a few things. Excuse me, I got some water. I can say a few things, but if anybody knows about any language at all, you say one little thing, then everybody jumps on like they think you know what you're saying and you can understand, and then I totally get lost. So
yeah. So some of the first phrases I learned, like to your point, I would learn a couple of phrases like "Hello, how you doing?" But then the next one I learned to say is "Excuse me, I only speak a little bit of Thai." So I learned how to say that in Thai, so I could follow it up right away. Yeah.
Ko Thai Ning Noi Put Thai.
Yeah.
Something like that. I can say stuff, but I'm sure it's not 100% correct.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's just saying it with confidence. I'm still missing the tone, so I can say like, "Pom Kojai Pasatai Nit Noi" or "Pom Mai Kojai." I don't understand, or I just speak a little bit of Thai, but my tones are off. So it's something I want to actually work on. So Tita, who's a partner with Esquire in Asia, I want to work with her over Skype to sort of get my Thai language to the next level, because she does courses actually online where you can do live instruction with her, where she can help you through some of the pronunciations of the words. And I think that would be helpful for me. So for anyone that's interested, you can go to Shine Bright Like Tita, get her contact info. You can do language courses, Thai language courses with her, and she's great. So I'm looking forward to taking advantage of that here soon. And then Bad Badger was saying, he was a motorcyclist himself, saying, "I like your motorcycle road trips." You want to talk a little bit about that?
That was an intense trip. I started out here in Hua Hin, went from here to Sudantani, then over to Koh Samui, and then over the mountain, went to Rayong, and then I went out to, and I'm going to mess this one up, Copenhagen, whatever. Copenhagen. Okay. And it was a blast. I mean, I would do it again, but go down the other side, go down through Krabi. And I've been to Krabi before, but go down through Krabi and Phuket. And any of you that haven't been to Copenhagen, if you go, you're going to be real surprised. Everybody says that Thailand is a third blank, blank, blank world. That area is. There's no gas station. There's no bank. In fact, I was talking to a guy when I was down there, and he said that he's so happy that now they have an ATM on the island.
Wow. Yeah.
And this is 2020.
Yeah. So it's definitely a different way of life there, it sounds like, right? So, wow, that's amazing, because you probably have to really think ahead. Like when you go to the grocery store, you have to make sure you get all the items on your list, or
What?
it's going to be, well, if you go off the island and do grocery shopping, right?
Yeah.
You got to make sure you have everything you need.
Everything's shipped in, so you pay a lot more for everything. But hey, it's an island, you expect that.
Yeah, and that's the downside, right? So it's a really nice area, but then everything's so expensive. And then Daystay Fox talking about, I think he's talking about Boracay, say went just as it opened up and it was immaculate, but doesn't have the buzz of Thailand. So, and I hear that a lot from people saying that like Thailand just has a different feel compared to the Philippines. So I don't want to trash talk any country because they're all great. But yeah, do you kind of feel the same way a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't like about the Philippines, you walk into Wendy's or McDonald's or whatever, and the first thing you see is some guy standing there with a gun. That was a little bit intimidating for me. Wonder what's going to happen inside McDonald's restaurant.
Yeah, it's funny. Go ahead. I mean, you definitely, I think you're okay safe. I don't think you're very safe there. I mean, stuff does go down. To your point, though, with the guys with guns, my first exposure to the Philippines was in Manila. I came into the airport at night, which is not the optimal time to come into a new country. I prefer to come in the daytime. You can see things a little bit easier. But I came in 11 o'clock at night, went to the Marriott to spend a night there, and my luggage had to get scanned from the outside to the inside, and then guys with guns outside. So it was like definitely a different experience for someone first time out of the country of America to kind of encounter that. So I was like, oh, it's a little weird, but it's a great country. I just say it's a little different from Thailand.
It is different, definitely different.
Yeah.
They all have their own unique things and style and what have you. I mean, there's a lot of expats that live in the Philippines. And I've got some friends that live over there. So it's just a different vibe that's over there and a different vibe that's over here.
Yeah, it's a little elephant saying he's been to the Philippines, then went to Thailand in 1990 and not been back to the Philippines since. Yeah. And I kind of hear like that happens to a lot of people. Like they maybe spend some time in the Philippines, get the itch to go check out Thailand, and then say, wow, this is like much better. What I'm hearing is that the infrastructure is much better than what's been seen in the Philippines. Again, not to trash talk any country. The Philippines is great, but that's kind of what I've heard is the infrastructure just a bit better. I don't know if you agree with that, CJ.
I tried to stay on the beaches and stuff like that. So the infrastructure down there was more of like, I don't want to say shack, but like a low-end bungalow on the beach and that kind of thing. I mean, they still had bathrooms and everything and beds and what have you, but
yeah,
a lot of areas that I was staying in, if you wanted to stay on the beach, that's what you had to go into.
So interesting that Greeny Travels has a great comment about Bolt. So Bolt is a new car service in Thailand. Uber never really took off in Thailand. There were a lot of controversial stories about what happened there with guys being dragged out of their cars. I won't go into that. But he's mentioning that he took a trip with Bolt. It was only 39 baht, but the taxi guy wanted 250. Now, do they have Bolt down where you are in Thailand?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you probably just use your motorbike to go most places. But I will tell you guys.
So,
yeah, I would say so, guys. Like, check this out. If you do go to Thailand soon, definitely download the Bolt app on your phone because Greeny's calling out something like it's going to be so much cheaper to travel around Pattaya, all the other areas in Thailand if you use the Bolt car service. Especially, I think where it really has value is in the rainy season. So everyone that's been to Pattaya in the rainy season knows that when it rains, it pours. So, and you don't want to take a motorbike during that. But if you can get a car to take you somewhere, that's awesome. And Bolt is not expensive. So I know before it was like a Grab car you would take. And that's a little bit of a price premium over Uber. Still not too expensive. But what I'm hearing is Bolt is great. And it comes quick. I think Lucas did a video on the Bolt as well. And he was surprised how cheap it was. So yeah, I would say that's great for Thailand. That's really going to be huge when we all kind of get back there. I'm excited to kind of try that out.
I know they have Grab over here in Hua Hin, but I never heard of Bolt. So
yeah, Daystay Fox saying like Bolt is the way to go now. And I think like, how awesome is that? I feel like it came on really strong and just really took off. So I think once all the tourists get back there, it might be a little bit more gridlock in the city areas that use Bolt. But yeah, Greenie's saying Grab for sure in Hua Hin. So that's great. That's good intel. And Derek, who's a new member of our Reeshard Travel Facebook group, for those of you that aren't familiar, I do have a Facebook group. So please search me out. I put a lot of videos ahead of time, little snippets of upcoming series out on the Facebook group. So please check that out, apply to that. We accept everyone. But Derek is saying, I've traveled in Thailand, but in 20 years, I always gravitate to Hua Hin. And CJ, so tell me now, what is the right way to say that city? Because I say Hua Hin, I've heard it Hua Hin. Does it matter?
I'm not going to go down that road, just like when people say Pattaya, whatever. I'm not going down that road. I say if you use like an app on your phone or something like that to say it, and you say Hua Hin, it doesn't show up. You have to say Hua Hin.
Oh, interesting.
In order for it to spell it right, you have to say Hua Hin.
Well, maybe that's the right way to say it then. So I've heard that like Jomtien is not Jomtien, it's Jomtien. So I'm trying to like train myself to say it the proper way. But it's tough, CJ, when you get used to saying it one way, you just tend to, by habit, go that way, you know?
Well, I've gotten the habit, if I can't say something, I'll get on the phone or something like that and go into an app where you have to type it or you speak it, and then it'll come up and it'll say it correctly for you. So if any of you want to practice your Thai, that might be a good way to do it. I've lived here for years. Okay, Johnny, tell us how to say it. I've lived here for about 7 now, but I'm not admitting that I can say it. So Johnny, it's your turn. Say it.
I think the reason I profiled that one, it's so funny because I feel like a lot of people that go to Hua Hin, they just stay there. Maybe they've been to other areas of Thailand, they come to Hua Hin and it feels like home and they stay. So I'm not surprised to see that, you know, that Johnny's been there for a long time. And I feel like it's the same thing with you, CJ. Like you kind of checked out some other areas, but Hua Hin felt like home to you.
Yeah, well, I think I came because of the beach area. When I planned on coming to Thailand, I wanted to go to a beach area, and not to knock Pattaya, whatever you want to call it, but I didn't think the beaches were up to my standards. So that was kind of a negative mark for me over in Pattaya.
Yeah, it's funny. Johnny's saying no one cares as long as you got money. Who cares how you say Hua Hin? And that's so true. Like, especially like if you're going to Pattaya from the Bangkok airport, nobody cares if you say Pattaya. Just take me there. And if you have money, they don't care how you say things.
Show me the cash.
And then they say Fox, so funny. Many people get hung up about how to say Pattaya. And I'll tell you, CJ, so funny story. When I first started doing videos on YouTube, people were really trolling me on comments about how I say Pattaya until I started getting some views. Then the comments stopped. But like my first couple, you know, commenters like, you say it funny, you know. I thought like, come on, man. And I've heard other people that do Pattaya vlogs get that a lot, but it's kind of tailored off a little bit. Now that I address it, it'll probably pick up again.
I was doing one of my first streams. I don't do very many, but I was doing one sitting on my lanai, and someone that actually lived in the same building that I live in came on the stream, and he says, "You're saying Hua Hin wrong. You shouldn't say it that way." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's so funny. Everyone feels like they're an expert in how to pronounce the cities. You know, I feel like just take it easy. It's fine. You know, Thai, like, you know, sabai, just easy. Just take it easy. We don't care. So I love that. So Robert McInacia saying, let's show our support and sub to CJ Paradise. That would be awesome. So Derek is saying, I love this comment. Johnny's Thai skills are as good as my astronaut skills. Oh, Johnny, man, I see a little bit of a trolling going on here between you and Derek. You guys must be good friends or something like that. But I love that. It's so funny. That's awesome. That's good. So CJ, tell me, where do you want to take the channel, man? Where do you see it going? I know you do day in the life vlogs. You do some news vlogs as well. You're always updating us on like.
I started doing. I wasn't really going to do news vlogs and stuff like that, but a couple people asked me. Robert Mack asked me, "Hey, what's the?" I think he asked about the train. I was kind of walking around the train station, and I did that, and then he was kind of pushing me to do another one. So I've started doing another one for you, Robert Mack. But then I saw on, the news and stuff like that in forums and stuff that people were asking about when can they come back to Thailand. So I started digging a little bit and trying to find the key information just to spread it out there. And being in Thailand, I might not get all the information 100% correct, but I try. And being in Thailand, I have a feeling that we get a little bit better information inside of Thailand than other people are getting from forums and all things like that. So that's why I'm putting those out there.
Yeah, and I think so. You raise a good point. I feel like there's a lot of value to that, CJ, because us being outside of Thailand, we just want information. Like we can decipher like what's accurate or not, and we know that things change so quickly. So what you may say today may be different tomorrow, but we need that information. It's hard to come by. So what you might find out is like, hey, this is matter of fact. Everyone knows this in Hua Hin. This is what's going on. We don't. So we appreciate videos like you do around the news because it gives us information we're not privy to. So yeah, I think that's great, and you should keep doing that. Not be worried about people saying, "Oh, it's not like that now. It's changed," because it's very much changing daily, right?
I'm not worried about it. I put out a video on the quote unquote high-speed rail system. And
yeah.
Oh, man, every comment that I got in my channel was, "It's not a high-speed rail system. You stupid foreigner, you don't know what you're talking about." I spoke to a gentleman that works for a company that's working with the Thai rail system. He told me that the train is going to be going about 160K through Hua Hin, and that's pretty fast.
Well, CJ, you can enjoy those comments on that video. That sounds like it must be frustrating. My comments are still somewhat nice. Hey, great video. Nice job here. I think I'm going to stay away from the controversial topics like that, because this would be like a list of comments you got to go through.
I stopped answering.
Yeah, it can be a bit much. But hey, I want to kind of wrap things up, CJ. I don't know if a half an hour felt like it went by quickly for you. It went by quickly for me.
It was going by real fast.
Yeah, you've been a great guest, man. I just want to thank you for coming on the Saturday Live show. I really enjoyed talking about your experience with Thailand, especially how you really felt like it was home when you came and visited for the first time. I think that's what a lot of people are feeling like.
Yeah.
CJ, do you think we're all going to get back next year? If you had to call a month when tourism would pick up again, do you think April, May, June? What month sounds good to you?
I would say because they're releasing the virus. My bad. The vaccine. Sorry, guys. Sorry. They're releasing the vaccine in the UK within a couple of weeks, so they're going to get it first. So they're releasing it. I think that it's going to be like probably 90% that you're going to have to have the vaccine in order to get on a plane to travel anywhere. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, sure, I think you're right.
That's supposed to happen probably April or May. So I think once they get the ball rolling on that, I think Thailand will open up maybe a month later.
Yeah,
so
I think
maybe June.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think June is the safe bet for all of us. You don't want to get back too early because then nothing's open. But I would say June was, if I had to book a trip right now, I'd say June for sure. And I think it'll be a V-shaped recovery. That's me looking at my crystal ball, saying that's going to happen. But CJ, thanks very much for coming on. Please, everyone, go to his channel, subscribe if you like the videos. He's got a lot of great different videos, day in the life videos, news videos. he's there in Hua Hin, so he has a lot of information he can give us. But thank you, CJ, for being a part of the Saturday Live Show.
I want to thank you very much for having me. Everybody, take it easy, be safe, be happy in your paradise. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Awesome.
See you down the road.
All right. Great guest. I love talking to him. I had to profile a comment from Kevin Chang Noah. He says it should be called Hua Hin. I thought that was pretty funny. You know, sometimes I'll be, you know, talking with the guest and I'll see these comments coming in and just make me kind of smile and laugh. So if you see me smiling at a weird time, it's usually because there's a funny comment in the chat, and I love that. Let me see. Zcon's just got something to say. I'm hoping Thailand is not going to be a late starter to the situation due to border hopping, spoiling early tourism for us. Yeah, and I think maybe what you're talking about a little bit too, Zcon, is probably the situation up in Chiang Rai, which is in the north of Thailand. So from what I'm hearing, there's a little bit of a situation outbreak in that area, and it's probably from people coming over the porous borders between Thailand and Laos and Myanmar. So yeah, that would not be so good. But I think it's all dependent on when everyone gets vaccinated in Thailand. I think that day is coming in 2021. What I'm hearing is April is when Thailand will start rolling that out for themselves. I think from there, things will improve for sure. Yeah, and then Thailand tourism said they won't relax quarantine until their vulnerable people have been vaccinated, and they will get the vaccine in May. That's what I've heard. Yeah, I feel like, I think what might happen there, and this is just me guessing, you know, guys, put in the chat if you think I'm right on or way off. I think that China may come to help out Thailand with the vaccine. I feel like they may provide some resources to make sure that Thailand is vaccinated quicker, because remember, a lot of the tourism comes from China. So I think Thailand wants to kind of partner with China and make sure that those Chinese coming in are vaccinated, and also that Thailand is vaccinated as well. So, you know, really like sister countries there. So I feel like China may help out with that, and that would be great. I think all we want to do is just see people get relief from the situation, things to start to return back to normal. I mean, my gosh, 2020, what a year has it been, right? I mean, just nuts. Who would have guessed this would have happened? You know, when this whole situation broke out back in March, you know, when I went to, my last trip to Thailand was in February. Coming back, I thought maybe 3 months this would last for sure. I would be getting back in November of 2020, no problem. And boy, was I wrong. Just amazing how this has really just lasted so long. And I guess what we're talking about now is a third wave, possibly in winter. But, you know, I think that things will pick up once things start to kind of, the vaccine gets rolled out. So I'm happy to see that kind of go around and hopefully kind of get things back to normal. Perfect. Let me just go here, remove this one, and go back to this banner here. So one thing I'm interested about is I'm curious to see if a devalued Thai baht is coming as tourism picks back up, because you might see that currently the exchange rate's about 30-1, which is not great, guys. So the first 2 years I was in Pattaya, 36-1 was like the high point. I was lucky enough when I went in December of 2015, it peaked over like 36.1-1. That was great. And then the following year in 2016, December, same thing, 36-1. And that was like the benchmark for exchange. Like, oh man, it was so great. You got so much for your money. But now down at 30-1, it makes me think if it's going to go back to, I think it was back in the 1990s. You guys have checked this out when it was 57-1. There was a time in the past when the Thai baht was actually 57-1 against the US dollar. So I can't only imagine what it would be like against the euro or the British pound. It must have been just nuts, like 75 or something to 1. I mean, that goes a long way. That's where beers are only costing you 25 cents. And that would definitely be a great deal. So I don't know if anyone has privy information on that, but that would be interesting to see what you guys think about the devalued baht, because I do feel like that will definitely get people back sooner than later. If the exchange rate picks up, then people are more, you know, excited to kind of get back as soon as possible. And Zcon saying not much change for us in a while, 40 baht to the pound. Yeah, I feel like 40 is still pretty good. You know, when I went to the Philippines, it was 52-1 when I went in 2016. And the interesting thing about that is I did feel like there's a little bit of inflation in the Philippines. So I was expecting to get a great deal, but it was about the same cost as Thailand. Because things were just more expensive, even though it was 52-1 exchange versus 35-1 back in the day with Thailand. I felt like the price was about equal because things were a little bit more expensive in the Philippines. And then Bad Badger saying he had 56/57 to the pound when he retired, now 40. So it goes up, would be a bonus. Yeah, I mean, that goes a long way, Bad Badger, right? I mean, if it's up near north of 50, things become a lot more affordable. Your monthly income goes a lot further. And I feel like that's definitely a big value. So I'm hopeful that it gets back to that. I do feel like there may be other government agencies that step in to make that happen. So we won't talk about that, but I definitely see that that will be a big hindrance if the Thai baht doesn't decrease in strength. So we need to see something like 33 at least. It can't stay at 30. And then Tommy J saying, Greeny, looking forward to your condo searches. So yeah, I want to check that out today. I don't know if you have another one that you might have posted. And then just so you know, like Rides for Kicks, one of our returning guests we had on, he just posted his video moving into his Pattaya condo. So I'm excited to check that out. Hopefully he has some, some viewing of what the condo looks like on the inside, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I want to check that out as well. And then Greeny says they're coming quick. Put last Bangkok up one today. So I'll check out that one today then, Greeny. That sounds like a great one to kind of check out, the Bangkok condos. I'm definitely curious about Bangkok. My only concern there is it's definitely the smaller square footage or square meters, right? So yeah, and I would say one other video to check out too is CB Media just did a video as well. He's got a great one about go-karts in the area. I don't know which city he was in, but I know he had like a video on go-karts. And CB Media doesn't need my help telling people to go to his channel, but I love his channel. He's got some great videos on there. Just funny. He's from America too, so I kind of like that. You know, that Atlanta accent. I think he's from Atlanta. So yeah, I like his videos, and he did a great one with the go-karts recently. So I feel like that's great. So maybe one day we'll be privy enough to have him on the channel. Who knows? Maybe we'll have CB Media on the Saturday Live Show. We'll hope for the best. Daystate Fox saying that Rides for Kicks new condo is lovely. So I can't wait to see that, because I know it's a little different from the one he profiled on his condo series. I know he did choose the 1 bedroom, but I want to check out what the floor plan looks like. So, and then Greedy Travel says in Pattaya he ran into CB. Oh, that's awesome, man. You should have got him on a video real quick. I'm sure he would have liked that. So that would have been cool. I know that Lucas ran into CB Media during one of his videos that he was doing recently. I thought that was kind of funny. And yeah, that's great. Guys, so I just want to thank everyone that kind of tuned into the Saturday Live Show today. And thank you for everyone that checked out my latest Pattaya video part 10. So I definitely appreciate that. Pattaya Passage. Video is performing well. I appreciate every view, every comment. It helps with the Google algorithm, with the YouTube algorithm. So I appreciate everyone doing that. I will tell you that I put together a little outro, so stay tuned. I have an outro coming here too. Just thanking everyone that's been on the show in the past, all my previous guests. I got some funny videos, and Big Fat Bestie, we're always thinking about him in the UK. I got a funny scene with him talking about the famous Thailand smell. So guys, thanks everyone that showed up today. I will see you next week on the Reeshard Travel Saturday Live Show.
Boom Airport to get your taxi, and it's bang. And that's the first time you get the Thailand smell, Thailand smell, Thailand smell. And it's like, yeah, this is it. Here I am.
You don't know about Maggie. She's very bossy, but she's not on the camera. Need to put some buck in this bottle.